Here with Dave Moneypenny, coach of the Oak Hill Red Devils, and coach, getting down to about the point where you want to be deciding who the personnel is going to be. I know it's your first year and everything. How's practice been so far?
It's been dynamite. We got some really good kids here at Oak Hill, and they're eager to learn and they're eager to play. So it's been a lot of fun so far.
Going through your personnel real quick, starting with the backfield. What's the backfield? You have one guy that's back. I saw him play against Wyoming East over here last year. That's Tiamu Shelton. That was kind of his breakout game. Talk about him in that backfield.
Yeah. Well, Tiamu gives us, a little bit of speed back there, and, he's probably weighing about 180, 185 pounds, so he's got a little size. But he's a great kid. He's a hard worker, and like I said, like these other kids, he's eager to learn. He's ready to play.
Other guys back there you think will get some carries for you this year?
Well, there's a stable of kids back there. Looking around, you got Leonard Farrow and Logan Lawhorn, who's new this year. I think he's played here at Oak Hill in the past. And we got Eli, Sedlock and Omar Lewis, and there's Braxton Hall. There's several kids that we can get the ball to, and I'm sure there's 3 or 4 others I haven't mentioned. But we got a great bunch of kids here, and a lot of them will be coming back next year, so we're happy about that.
How are they adapting in your wing team?
Yeah, well, there was some learning difficulties at the beginning, but as anything, when you install something new with a group of kids, you're going to have some ups and downs, but we're feeling pretty good about it right now. They seem to understand the concept behind it, and they enjoy it. They're playing hard. They're asking questions, and they're learning a lot.
How's it been with this pandemic stuff going on? In practices, everything's different. For example, we're wearing a mask right now. So.
Sure. Yeah. It's tricky. It's an ever-flowing type of thing you have to deal with. Sometimes daily, and sometimes hourly. It's one of those things you just. Roll with the punches. That's what Coach Banner said. Roll with the punches, and right now we're getting punched quite a bit. So, be flexible. Your break.
What are before I get back to the personnel, just to break it up a little bit, what are your expectations for this team?
Yeah, play hard, compete, and overcome adversity. We talk about that to these kids. Things aren't always going to go right. No matter how well we have planned things or practiced things, we're going to have breakdowns. How do they respond when things are going bad? And that's what we continually talk to these kids about. Play hard through adversity.
You, at Fayetteville, one of your last years there, the year you went undefeated, you had the dirty 24.
Yeah.
And a lot more people on this roster. What's it like to have a full roster like that? You didn't really have that. You had maybe 30, 40 tops over at Fayetteville, but looks like you got a big roster here.
Well, that 32 dozen. I think we ended up with 19 that year finishing up. And like you said, I think most we've ever had was probably 28, 30. This is twice as many kids, but the thing is twice as much fun. We're having a lot of fun here. Got a good group of coaches. We're divvying those guys out. And, like I said, we got a lot of kids, a lot of fun, a lot of interest, and, we're looking forward to this.
Well, let's talk about that staff. You got some young guys, yes, but you've also got Jim Martin, who you and I both go back to the mid 80s with him. Frank Spangler, same way. Quite a staff you put together here.
Well, those two names right there probably have close to 100 years of football under the belt, and you can't substitute that. We're very fortunate to have those two veteran coaches. They've both been high school head football coaches. They've got some state championship rings and some playoff, wins between the two of them. But we got a good young staff as well, so. It's one of those things where the kids, they're learning life lessons from the older coaches, and we're trying to learn some football from these younger guys, and vice versa. So it's a good mixture for us.
One thing Oak Hill had yet last year was a good offensive line. They graduated a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
What's the line looking like now, and who are some of those personnel you're going to count on?
Well, you're asking me some good questions. Offensive line. We've got a lot of kids coming back actually from that line. Scott Wilshire will be heading that up. Of course, he's pretty versatile. We can move him around the backfield if need be. But you got guys like Bryce and hold on a second. Hold on one second. See what they're doing out there. Okay. Can we start again on the offensive line?
Yeah, just
okay.
Go ahead.
So on the offensive line, we're looking at like Devin Dean came back. Devin Dean started on that line last year. He's back again. You got David Cosby who started on that line, and he's back again. But that doesn't necessarily mean they'll be starters. We're mixing the things up. We got some good kids. We got Gabe Truman. I'm looking at Gabe Truman out there. You got Anthony Ayers out there. You got Bryce out there. We got several kids that played spot. They were spot playing last year. Obviously they got to move up. it's fair game for everybody because we're installing a new offense, and some of the guys that played last year may not do as well as the newer kids coming in this year with this wing T. So it's there's a lot of things up for grabs right now.
You been able to throw out of this wing T. Did you see this team with a guy like Logan Lawhorn or Braxton Hall, whoever it may be? Are they going to be able to throw the ball a little bit?
I hope we can.
Keep things honest.
I really hope we can. I mean, we're planning on it. And the neat thing about it is, we've got some pretty capable receivers. You got like Ethan standing there, Ethan Vargo Thomas, and Braxton Hall, and Eli Selvey, and Leonard Farrow, and Omar Lewis. We've got some kids, and there's more. There's kids that can catch the ball. So offensive line wise up front, if we can, protect the quarterback and give Logan a chance to throw that ball around, I think he can have some fun back there.
Where do you think you will stand defensively when the season kicks off? Hopefully, and we'll hopefully get that. But where will the defense be, you think?
What type of defense?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a 3-4. It'll be a 3-4, and we kind of move our people around a little bit, and up front we pressure a little bit. We've always pressured some, so we're going to base it off a 3-4, and we got some decent speed and some good defensive backs back here that we think we can train up real well. So we feel good about that.
Now you've got something maybe some schools don't have, and that's a kicker, and Vargo Thomas.
Sure.
How much of a weapon would that be for you guys?
Big, awesome. That's our biggest weapon right now. I mean, coming over here, where we've been in the past at Fayetteville and the other schools, we have always relied on our kicking game, and when we don't have a kicking game, it really changes the structure of our offense and our defense, for that matter. But coming over here, with Ethan kicking the ball the way he is, just a sophomore, I mean, that's big for us. And again, it's up front. If we can protect our kicker and get him in situations where he can get that ball through the goalpost, I mean, those are points, and we're happy with that.
Why do you think the kicking game's changed over the years? Like the passing game is more of a, used to be we all ran 2-point conversions. That's what we did. Why has it changed, you think?
Well, I mean, I think years ago when I first got into this, football was probably more of a physical sport. It's still a very physical sport, obviously, but I think there's a lot of skill involved in football now, and with the spread passing game over the years and the zone read types of things, and that marries in with the kicking game. Kicking is a skill, throwing is a skill, catching is a skill. Handing the ball off and knocking people down isn't too hard to do if you're pretty tough. But you don't have to be very skillful for that. So I think football years ago was more of a physical game, whereas now it's still physical, but it has evolved into more of a skill type of game.
For yourself being back, does it feel like you kind of picked up where you left off? Or
Sometimes. Yeah, Dave, it was...
you're not in green anymore.
No, I'm not in green, but I had to dust some of that rust off,
Right.
But these kids have been really good. If I make a mistake, we got some pretty smart kids. They're there to correct me already on some things that I taught them, just weeks ago. So, yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of rust there. But like I said, we got some really, really good kids, good staff, and we're ready to go.
Aside from compete, are there any other goals you have in mind for this team? Well, I don't think a coach really goes in with a goal other than to win every game.
Yeah, well, we talk about that. We talk about winning. We always talk about, we've talked about, we're probably not going to win every game. That doesn't happen all the time. But, we're going to go into each week of each season with the expectations of winning, competing, with game plans and watching film and practice, practice structuring our practices in proper ways to give these kids the ability to compete. And and if you can compete, and if you will compete, you have a chance of winning no matter what you're doing.
Looking forward to the first scrimmage game more than you usually look forward to.
Yeah, I would imagine. It's been a couple of years for me. So I'm, a couple of years of absence has made me a little bit hungrier, I believe. Yeah.
All right, Dave, I appreciate the time. Good luck this season.
Always, Dave. I appreciate you, man. Thanks.